is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay Maru. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. A tentative deal has been reached between AirTransat and the union representing pilots ahead of a strike that was set for Wednesday. In a statement, AirTransat says the deal represents a complete overhaul of its collective agreement and that it would have preferred to avoid the strike threat that forced operational changes. The union says pilots had been working under an outdated agreement for more than a decade, and months of stalled negotiations pushed them to press for a new deal. Tonight's tentative agreement follows days of flight cancellations as the airline began winding down operations ahead of the union's strike deadline. Details of the agreement have not been released, but the union says pilots will vote on it in the coming days. AirTransat says it apologizes to customers for the disruptions, adding its focus now is restoring operations. Windsor police say a recent initiative targeting retail crime spanning 4 days has led to 32 arrests and more than $2,700 in recovered merchandise. Between December 3rd and 6th, Windsor police partnered with 15 local retailers to target shoplifting and related offenses. Officers say they laid 33 criminal charges, mostly for theft under $5,000, along with other counts for fraud, mischief, and breach of probation. 4 youth were diverted through a youth program, and police issued 9 trespass notices. Well, depending on where you live, you may have seen 2 to 5 centimeters of snow outside your home this morning, and it may not be over with another system on the way, bringing with it a mix of rain and snow. CTV's Bob Belichico has a look now at how people handled today's blast of weather.
Another day of digging out, residents clearing off sidewalks and driveways.
It's fine. It's the winter is coming.
If I'm inside, I'm excited about it. When I'm outside, not so much.
Residents bundled up as the snow fell and the wind blew. It was a slow commute for motorists. Salt trucks hit the road trying to stay ahead of it as several centimeters of snow blanketed the region.
Once we wrap up with this event, we are expecting another event to start sometime later this evening, probably in the overnight hours. We're going to, according to Environment Canada, get a mixed bag of precipitation.
The next weather pattern will involve the fluctuation of temperature hovering around the freezing mark.
Yeah, they should be slowing down.
Tecumseh resident Joanne Kettlewell has set up bollards around her property as a marker for drivers and a reminder to slow down.
We have people that, like everybody else, they roll around the corner and away they skid it up onto the property.
Take it easy on the road. Like I said, we'll be out there, but it does take us a little time to get around once it starts, so just be cautious.
The town of Tecumseh sent a reminder in advance of Tuesday's first round of weather to remove all green bins, garbage bins, and recycling bins, along with vehicles and other objects off the road and out of the way for snowplows. They also recommended using Transat Windsor if you're heading out in snowy or icy conditions, a message initiated by the City of Windsor.
Utilizing the city's transit system is one way for people to get around and lessen the impact of all of the vehicles on the road.
Do you hope it sticks around for Christmas at least?
Maybe for Christmas and then gone Boxing Day.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
And as this winter weather continues to settle in, big city mayors in Ontario are re-upping their demand for homelessness to be declared a state of emergency by the provincial government.
There's still a number of steps that the government can and needs to take to address this issue. There are people outside and it's below zero. It's, we don't want anyone dying on our street this winter or any winter.
Ontario big city mayors say municipalities are covering more than 51% of the $4.1 billion spent on housing and homelessness programs in Ontario last year, adding it's not sustainable for services which should be paid for out of Toronto. It's not a cheap problem to solve. The Association of Municipalities of Ontario estimates it would take $11 billion over 10 years to end chronic homelessness. The focus, they believe, needs to be on prevention, supportive housing, and sustainable exits from homelessness.
I would argue this the biggest issue we face in Chatham-Kent is homelessness, addiction, and mental health.
That's Chatham-Kent Mayor Darren Caniff there, who signed off on this urgent plea to the province for help. His municipality in particular has a very visible homeless tented city, one which has been high profile in the last year. They are trying new ideas like building tiny cabins, increasing downtown police patrols, and moving the tented city to a different location. Caniff adds declaring a state of emergency would prioritize homelessness as Ontario's top issue.
Because it's not only the individuals that are experiencing it, it's the communities that have to deal with it as well. And the amount of resources that we spend on it, as far as police and hospital and emergency services and a number of other things, that we're spending a lot of money. And is there better ways to spend that money to provide a better service to those individuals?
We know that it's a chronic problem in this problem. We're working hard to try and help our municipal partners, along with ourselves, fix it.
Ontario's Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Rob Flack, says, or rather he was asked about the plea from the big city mayors today at Queen's Park. Flack telling reporters they plan to meet with federal counterparts in the new year to hammer out a housing plan for Canada. However, Flack says capacity at shelters is down, and while not specifically asked if they would declare a state of emergency, Flack does not appear to be considering it.
If you take a look at capacity, is down from last year, 91 to 93 to 89%. I believe it is working. We have given record amounts of money to our municipal partners. Bottom line is they can deploy it as they see fit. We have a service manager model in place, and if they want to deploy it differently, they can.
Meanwhile, the city of Windsor says it's closely monitoring pressure on the local homelessness system. As CTV's Chris Campbell reports, shelter providers are seeing demand shift rapidly, with at least one agency now saying they're over capacity, even as more beds were added to the system today.
At the Salvation Army's Centre of Hope, extra space is being brought online as temperatures drop. Executive Director Jason Linton says the agency has added 16 emergency beds for single men, along with 2 more pet-friendly rooms to get ahead of rising demand.
So that brings our complement up to 60 beds, and we're doing this for the single reason that the winter months are here, and we want to get people out of the cold.
Not far away, the downtown mission is now over capacity. Executive Director Rakshini Panayagulan says just a week ago they had room, but the shift in weather changed that quickly.
We typically see more people coming to us later in the month for shelter, whether it be extremely cold or not. So we definitely hope, throughout the shelter system as a whole here in Windsor, Essex, that we have enough beds, enough space available for people.
The mission is calling on upper levels of government for emergency support, warning that the system can't absorb sudden spikes alone.
We need help, like I said, from higher levels of government for more funding to allow for bigger spaces, more buildings perhaps, to allow for people to access the supports they need and to be safe and stay well throughout these difficult times.
So if any of our MPs or MPPs are listening, I would love to advocate for more funding.
The City of Windsor says there are 100 overnight drop-in spaces, and the number of shelter beds has increased to 215. That increase due to the added spaces at the Salvation Army.
I just want to assure the community that we're monitoring this very closely, and we'll do whatever we can to meet the demands. We do not want anybody having to sleep outdoors and, have the risk that comes with.
Officials say they're tracking capacity in real time and are prepared to work with providers to increase space if needed. The city is directing anyone needing help to call 211 for shelter information and warming options.
This is simply about keeping people out of the cold. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that people have a warm place to go.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Students at a public school in Windsor's West End were cleared out this afternoon after a second threat in 4 days prompted a hold and secure at the school. Windsor police say they received an anonymous call claiming there was a risk inside Marlborough Public School. Out of an abundance of caution, they say, officers entered the school and cleared the building. The hold and secure was lifted once police determined there was no threat. The school board adds classes resumed afterwards and families were notified through its parent communication portal. Major news tonight, Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kirsten Hillman, is stepping down in the new year as the country's top diplomat in Washington. Hillman announcing her decision in a social media post, saying it has been a great privilege. Hillman has been the chief Canadian negotiator throughout the recent trade war amid tensions with the U.S. under the Trump administration. She was first appointed to the role in March of 2020 and was the first woman to serve in that position. Hillman has played crucial roles in negotiating trade agreements for Canada, including the modernization of the North American Free Trade Agreement. The town of LaSalle is hiring a consultant to look at improvements to transit service.
We're starting to hear a little bit more transit because right now what we offer only services a certain area of the town. So we're starting to hear from people who live in the newer developments in the newer area who are looking for that service to be extended to them.
Town Council approved spending about $52,000 for a new transit master plan. Run by Transit Windsor, the LaSalle 25 route began in 2017 and has not seen significant change. Significant population growth and new developments, however, have the town now considering how transit can serve more residents. The consultant is expected to work with officials and residents to develop service ideas before the town's contract ends in 2027.
I think that's what we're looking for, is what we offer now, does it make sense, or is there a different route that makes more sense, or maybe there's two? I mean, really, that's what we're hoping to get out of this report, is someone to reevaluate what we've done to this point and decide if it makes sense for us to grow and add more or leave it status quo.
Turning now to important legislation introduced today, which would make changes to the criminal code with reforms directed at keeping kids safe and protecting victims of gender-based violence, including femicide. CTV's Abigail Beeman outlines the changes to the Justice Bill and why this is significant.
That happened on Mother's Day 2003.
A survivor of attempted intimate partner femicide, Nneka McGregor feels lucky she didn't end up a statistic. In 2024, 187 women in Canada were killed violently.
I've spent the last 2+ decades advocating for a lot of the changes that have been proposed today.
McGregor says the Liberals' new legislation goes a long way to end gender-based violence, especially the move to make femicide classified as first-degree murder and a new criminal offense for certain types of coercive and controlling behaviors to help stop abuse before it's too late.
We have an opportunity to better protect kids who are at risk of exploitation and to address very real concerns about violence against women, including violence that could be fatal.
If passed, C-16 will restore a dozen mandatory minimum penalties previously found unconstitutional, but also give courts some discretion to order shorter sentences to address the problem of potential charter infringement. The bill also makes it illegal to distribute deepfakes without someone's consent.
Unless you do XYZ, then I'm going to share that with your family. I am going to post it to all of your friends. And, you know, children are rightfully terrified.
This cybersecurity expert says the bill closes a critical loophole and legislation is long overdue.
The delay in introducing this law has had a profound effect on kids.
There is some overlap from the beleaguered Trudeau-era online harms bill, namely the requirement for internet service providers to notify police about any child porn. But the Justice Minister says this isn't a copy and paste. He hopes to have the support of all parties to pass this bill. It's not yet clear if he will. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
After the break, holiday shopping is surging and a strong U.S. dollar is pulling more Americans into Windsor to cash in and lift up local businesses. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now with a look at the forecast. And Gary, if you're like me and you're not a fan of the snow, I can't imagine you'll be a fan of tonight's forecast.
Well, I love the snow personally, and for those who don't like it so much, well, I feel for you, but it is December after all in Canada and in southern Ontario. Late fall can certainly see snow. We've been in the midst of it for the last couple of weeks in concentrated amounts over the last 48 hours. Special weather statement is in place for extreme southwestern Ontario. That's why you see this map blanketed with gray. Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, Leamington, Amherstburg, Bell River, our friends in Kingsville, Pelee Island, all looking at 2 to 5 centimeters of snow already from the first situation this morning, and a rain-snow mix developing as I speak tomorrow morning through the day. 1.4 degrees Celsius, our average is closer to 3. We saw snow melting because the temperatures climbed above the freezing mark, obviously. And some of that snow that's still on the ground will harden up. We'll get some ice forming over the next 24 to 36 hours because we'll see temperatures take a nosedive. One system evacuates our airspace. The next one is massive, and you'll note the different colors there. That's indicative of the snow. The green, obviously, the rain in that wintry mix. That's your freezing rain, ice pellets, combination of wet snow. One embodiment of low pressure brings snow to start through the overnight between midnight and, say, 6 a.m. Then a changeover to a mix of snow and rain, possibly freezing rain, say around 7 a.m. onward towards 10 a.m. The snow bands could put down significant amounts, hence the special weather statement that's in place. And notice how, as we trek further east towards London, Kitchener, Waterloo, we're looking at in excess of 15 centimeters. The rainfall, if it's just raindrops, we can contend with that with temperatures above the freezing mark. If they fall into a shallow layer of freezing temperatures at the surface, then you get freezing rain. Not good. The overnight temperature +1. Windy, by the way. We'll see sustained winds in the 40s with gusts to the 60s, maybe 70s at times throughout the morning through the midday and afternoon. Here's your breakdown. So wet flakes, rain, freezing rain, a possibility and a mix. It is an ugly day for commuters throughout. We'll see a bit of a break Thursday, high of -2. -2 Friday and cloudy. The weekend is flurries filled or flurry-filled and colder, -6 apiece. And then -5, -3 as we head towards next week. That's a look at a very active weather situation.
Well, flu season is ramping up across the country, and health experts are urging people to get their vaccinations.
When we look at how good the vaccine is this year, I have to acknowledge that it's still really good. It's still the best we have. But one of the 3 components of the vaccine doesn't work as well as we'd like it to work. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It still does. It still provides some protection, just not as much as we would like. And there's 2 other components of the vaccine that work very well. So still extremely important to get a flu shot.
According to the latest data from Health Canada, there were nearly 3,700 confirmed flu cases across the country in the week ending on November 29th. That's up from roughly 2,400 the week before. Holiday shopping is in full swing, and many Canadians, they're staying closer to home to save money or avoid the crowds. But the strong U.S. dollar, it's drawing more American shoppers north. And as CTV's Travis Fortnam shows us, local businesses are seeing the boost.
We get a lot of Americans that shop with us on a regular basis.
At Whiskey Jack Boutique in the heart of Windsor, owner Katie Stokes is used to seeing customers from across the river, and lately she says they're coming with one thing in mind: the strong U.S. dollar.
Sometimes it's a surprise, which is always fun, to give them that piece of information where they realize everything is basically 30% off.
Yeah. It's cute.
And for visitors like Brittany Ocampo, that extra buying power adds up quickly.
I came out to Canada to celebrate a friend's birthday.
For her, Whiskey Jack was just one stop on a Canadian shopping spree.
She showed me like the difference in currency if I wanted to do Canadian dollars or US dollars, and it was about a $30 to $40 difference there. I was really surprised.
You have to take a number of things into account.
Economist Dr. Joseph Eisenhower says cross-border shopping can look different depending on which side you're coming from.
How much are you going to pay in tolls crossing the border? How much are you going to pay in the exchange rate conversion fee?
Things like tolls and conversion fees can shrink savings for Americans, and they're part of the reason many Canadians have stopped making trips in the other direction. The Canadian dollar has been sitting low against the U.S., and adding political tensions at the border, many local shoppers say it's just not worth heading stateside right now.
Right now, the American dollar is worth $1.40 in Canadian, but that changes every day. In fact, it changes every hour.
At Devonshire Mall, marketing manager Tina Asbrakis says that gap is helping draw more Americans over here, especially to stores like Lululemon.
Basically because it's the same price in Canadian and U.S. So when you come to Canada, let's just say tights that are $100 U.S., they are $100 Canadian. So then you save the $40 in exchange rate.
And as long as the dollar stays in this range, retailers expect to keep seeing more U.S. faces through the door.
So to see American shoppers coming back again, it's nice to see. I mean, we're neighbors, right?
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Strength in financial stocks helped Canada's main stock index rise today. The TSX gaining 74 points. In New York, the Dow falls 179, the Nasdaq adding 31. The Canadian dollar is down a modest 0.04 cents today. Gold gains more than $18 an ounce, while oil loses 63 cents a barrel.
Cancer for a Cause is back for its 22nd year.
Join us as we broadcast live from Devonshire Mall.
We'll be collecting cash and non-perishable food items for the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
We need your help, generosity, and goodwill.
Visit us online for more information.
Health Canada has issued a recall today for McCain's frozen tater tots due to the possible presence of plastic. Tasty Taters products from the frozen food brand were recalled in a notice by Health Canada. It warned that the affected crispy potato bites were distributed nationally in 800-gram and 1.8 kilogram sizes. Well, if you've ever planned an event at a restaurant for a wedding, anniversary, or corporate party, you know there's a lot of work involved. But a group that deals in restaurant technology says it's created a marketplace for private and group dining they say is easy to use. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Minami, Toronto is a popular Japanese restaurant in the entertainment district. It's known for many of its signature dishes and specializes in flame-seared sushi. It's a choice for smaller groups, but over the years it's come to host many larger events.
One thing that we've always noticed is it's really challenging for people to book events that are larger than simple reservations.
General Manager Nicholas Tian says in the past it could be challenging for anyone trying to plan a large gathering at a restaurant. But he says using the online reservation service OpenTable, it makes it easier for party planners and restaurants to make it happen.
We've done more weddings and corporate bookings and large-scale bookings than ever before since bringing on this platform.
It's really about making it easier for diners to discover and book those large party opportunities or spaces.
OpenTable is available across Canada and allows diners to compare private dining rooms, semi-private spaces, and large group tables. You can check pricing, menus, and some businesses allow instant booking. OpenTable says it's win-win for both diners and restaurants.
In the old days, you used to have to pick up the phone and search, ask and call multiple different restaurants before you'd find availability. Now it's as easy as a couple of clicks and you found the spot that you'd like to go to.
The company says its research shows almost 70% of those asked would rather host a party at a restaurant than in their home, suggesting private dining is gaining momentum.
Last night we had 30 people in the lounge. The night before we had 25 in the lounge.
OpenTable says 60,000 restaurants worldwide take part in its platform, and they help fill almost 2 billion seats each year. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
A drone carrying a bag from a U.S. grocery store filled with crab legs and other contraband was intercepted at a South Carolina prison this past Sunday. The illegal delivery also included steak, seasonings, cigarettes, and marijuana. A spokesperson for the South Carolina Department of Corrections quipping that the inmates expecting this package are probably feeling a bit crabby. Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary, I'm seeing all that snow behind you in the graphic there. You can't still be a fan of snow, can you?
I am a fan through and through, and Sanjay, I like you, I do. But perhaps we can open ourselves up to the possibility that snow in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's traveling through it at times, and the timing of it, not so great. But playing in snow, enjoying snow can be delightful. So once it does pass this nasty system, and I give you that over the next, say, 12 to 18 hours, we'll get into a bit of a break, even see some sunshine, and dare I say, Sanjay, I'll take you outside and we'll have a snowball fight. Playfully, of course. No injuries. Friday, we're looking at colder temperatures and some more snow on the way. Flurries, though, and lighter. In all seriousness, it's about travel and safety, taking the time, making sure we look out for each other. And, again, let us not demonize snow. It's part of the winter-like situation that we're in. Do take care, everyone.
I disagree. We should demonize the snow. Finally tonight, Windsor's Salvation Army is bringing Christmas cheer to the city tomorrow. The Christmas holiday turkey dinner takes place Wednesday, December 10th. This would be at 5 p.m. The location, the St. Clair College Center for the Arts. It's a free and first-come, first-serve event. And like last year, expect lineups to begin early with several hundred people expected. It's a need that is heightened now by ongoing economic challenges that some in our community are facing during this holiday season.
There are many people who simply don't have family that they can enjoy the Christmas season with, right? So, yeah, part and parcel of our role is to fill that gap. And I think we do that through this Christmas dinner as one of the events that we do. I think it's important for some people who may not have that social network to come and enjoy an evening together of fellowship.
And that is your news for tonight. Thanks as always for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. Don't forget, for news anytime, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca. Have a great night.